I made macaroni if you want some.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, I was starving and you took forever, so I wanted to make food.
Yeah, let's hope I get a copyright claim for that little clip from Hawkeye episode 5. So yes, this is an AWO air order bringing you episode 5 of Hawkeye, the second last episode to the season finale that's going to premiere on Wednesday, which is going to be an hour-long season finale show. And yeah, and I know everybody's been riding the Spider-Man No Way Home train, as I have, as my friends have, as people I follow on Twitter have, as the general public has. Still going on, the train is still going on, but for this episode, I'm going to temper my Spider-Man No Way Home fandom, my Spider-Man No Way Home excitement, seeing that movie, whatever, for Hawkeye episode 5 spoiler review. And yep, that's my thumbnail right there. Let me get rid of it for you guys. So what you can do is like, share, subscribe, whatever. I don't care. So yeah, okay, guys. So I hope if you see this episode, because this episode is very revealing, especially at the end. And so it's let's do a little recap, okay? A little recap. So, episode 4, if you've seen it, you would know that Yelena Belova has been revealed, played by Florence Pugh, who was in the Black Widow movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It might make sense for you to watch this movie. And you know what? It might not. If you've seen Endgame, you really don't need to see Black Widow, really. But if you want to, go ahead. I'm not gonna do what you want. It's up to you. But it makes her appearing in Hawkeye makes sense. And you see her in the end of episode 4, right? Trying to kill Clint because Clint is her target to take down, blaming him for Natasha's death. It happened in Endgame, as y'all remember, when she sacrificed herself to get the Soul Stone. So we get to this episode here. So we get to this episode 5. I don't know how long this stream's gonna be. And I really don't know. So definitely not as long as my Spider-Man stream. My Spider-Man stream were about almost 2 hours, hour and 50 minutes. And if I had people on not on the panel, or I had probably gone at least 3 hours. But I did 1 hour 50 stream all by myself. But I had people in the comments, so that's why I went longer. But if I had people on the panel, I probably went longer. I have invited anybody for this for panelers because I don't want it to be a long thing. I would say about between 30 and 40 minutes, 30 and an hour, half an hour to an hour maybe most. If I could go over an hour for this, I'd be amazed. And the last one I did about 45 minutes. Episode 3 was a jam-packed episode, so that was longer. And this, I think, will be in between at least 45 to 50 minutes. Let me just check. So, let me check my last Hawkeye video. And I'm going to plug some stuff at the end that I have in the works. at the end. So yeah, so the last Hawkeye video, the episode 4 splitter, we went 39 minutes. So this might be in between 30 and 50 minutes. 30 an hour. I'm sorry. And I hope if you're listening, you've seen the episode, because this is the final episode to the season finale. Season finale. So, well, okay. As we left off in episode 3, Clint basically wanted nothing to do with Kate Bishop anymore. Basically told her to stay away, told her we're not partners anymore. That they're not partners. Because Clint has a lot of targets on his back, right? I mean, you got the Traction Mafia, Maya Lopez, and Lena Bolivar now. Something interesting here, right? Kate goes to her mother. Mother heals her. And there's interesting things with her mother. They talk. Mother helps her patch her up with her from her where she's bleeding and where she has cuts and stuff. Her mother patches her up. And well, I do think her mother does care about her. I do think that's legit. I do think that's genuine. That she does care about her daughter. I do think that's real. Because if you've seen the episode, you know the truth about her mother. We find out the truth about her mother. So I do think that's genuine, that her love for her daughter. So yeah, and then you see Kate go back. Kate goes back to her burned down apartment. From earlier in the show. Remember where it got attacked by the Traction Mafia? They burned it down with what's it called? You know what I'm talking about. And then all of a sudden, she suspects somebody's there, and we get, her. And I'll show you her. Where can I find her? There we go. Florence Pugh is Yelena Belova. Yelena Belova. And I forgot to mention, opening this episode, they started off with Yelena Belova and a fellow Black Widow member of the going to arriving in a manor, a woman's manor, that was also a Black Widow, was also a Black Widow assassin. And if you see Black Widow, the movie, there's a certain thing that cures the Black Widow from the villain of Black Widow's control. And they tried it on the woman, but unfortunately she wasn't under anybody's control. She had free will, she had everything. And she stopped being an assassin and stuff. She's like, and then Yelena goes into the bathroom, and all of a sudden you see her blip. So this is while she's doing this mission with a fellow Black Widow member. This was during the Infinity War on Wakanda, wherever. This is definitely on Wakanda because that's where the blip happened. That's when Thanos went like this, or I don't know if it's the middle finger or if it's with the index finger. And she disappeared, and then in that same bathroom, she comes back. She reappears 5 years later, and she comes out, and she sees that same woman, but with a kid and a man. She's all confused, and she's like, and that woman is like, Yelena, you're back. And she explains what happened. What happened to Yelena. So Yelena has been confirmed to have been snapped from Thanos' Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. And yes, Black Widow did take. So Black Widow, the movie Black Widow, did take place before Infinity War. It took place actually after Civil War. And yeah, so we're back to the apartment between the confrontation between Yelena and Kate. Now, Yelena has no intention of killing Kate. She's not her target. She's an assassin. She has a moral and code. She has stuff like that. No intention of killing Kate, but she warns him to stay away from Clint. Otherwise, she'll have to. But it's a pretty funny scene. The scene about macaroni. I'm gonna show you it again. Just for the fun of it.
Kate Bishop. Hi. I made macaroni if you want some.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, I was starving and you took forever, so I wanted to make food.
Now, let me get this picture out of the way for you guys. Now, both actresses, Yelena, Florence Pugh and Haley Steinfeld, are both in their mid-20s. I believe Florence Pugh is in her mid-20s. Let me just. I know she's in her 20s. I'm not sure if she's early 20s or mid-20s. I know Haley is. Okay, Florence Pugh is 25. And they're both in their mid-20s. Okay, so obviously this is a preview, possibly to a Young Avengers in the future, with no, she's not Black Widow, Yelena, and Kate Bishop, her version of Hawkeye, and whoever in the future, possibly Young Avengers, Miss Marvel, maybe Tom Holland Spider-Man, because he's still relatively young. Riri Williams, the future perhaps Ironheart, who's going to be in Black Panther 2. So they're setting up a Young Avengers possibly in the future, and these two are probably the first introduction, the first glimpse of that possibly happening. I mean, yeah, we got Tom Holland Spider-Man, but he's kind of borderline Avengers. I mean, he could be in both Avengers or Young Avengers, but now we know that Tom Holland Spider-Man, nobody knows who Peter Parker is, and the Avengers knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man, and they can still say, oh, Spider-Man was an Avenger, but basically everybody who was an Avenger in the Avengers, they knew who their identity is. They knew who the person under their identities for Avengers are. Whether they're known identities by the general public, for example, Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hawkeye, everybody knows who their identities is, right? But now with Spider-Man, nobody knows who his identity is. Obviously, if you didn't see that, I spoiled that. I spoiled that from my spoiler review. That's from a spoiler review. From that Spider-Man No Way Home. If you see Spider-Man, you know what I'm talking about by Peter Parker. Nobody knows who Peter Parker is. That's I don't know. And and I'm gonna plug some more stuff. Things I plan in the works for my YouTube. Okay, so let's get back to this little confrontation between the two. Lena says she's out for revenge, and they debate about the Avengers, about if they're good or bad. Right? And Lena has obviously been hired by someone. Even though she wants to get revenge on Clint for the death of Black Widow, but she's been hired by someone, and Kate Bishop recognizes that. And then she bounces out of the little apartment Kate Bishop has. It seems like it looks rough. It's in a little bit of rough shape, but it doesn't seem like her place is totally ruined. It looks like they're able to save her they're able to save her apartment, and it was not totally burnt from the Tracksuit Mafia. Okay. And let me get my phone for a second. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. All right. Now, before Kate, before Kate and Eleanor, her mother, had to sit down and talk. We saw Jack Duquesne being arrested by FBI. Now, this is something I'm suspicious about. Why is he being arrested by the FBI? Right? Something's up. Something doesn't smell right. Something smells fishy with that arrest. Something doesn't smell like there's something there. And something doesn't sit right with me with there. I think you're a lot like me. There's something going on there. Why is Jack Duquesne getting arrested? Is somebody setting him up? Is he a villain or bad guy? We know in the comics he's a villain and stuff. But in this, what's going on here? Is somebody setting him up, framing him? Or is he orchestrated this to make a... Did he orchestrate his arrest or something? Like, I'm orchestrated his own arrest. I mean, how stupid can he be? But, like, he's willing to go that far to make it look like he's not suspicious at all. Make Kate think they're not suspicious at all. He's not the bad guy at all. I don't know. Like, we'll find out in episode 5. We'll find out who the real villain is. I mean, we kind of know who the big shot villain is in the whole thing. Like, the one running the whole thing. Obviously, that's no coincidence. Why? And I'll explain the coincidence a little bit later. And with the big reveal. And we saw the reveal in episode 3. Well, sort of. But in episode 5, we got the full reveal. And so Clint shot an arrow. The Tracksuit Mafia, the two guys were driving the truck. You know what I'm talking about. The one who's talking about Imagine Dragons and the other guy. They were driving the one of the trucks. And all of a sudden, an arrow was shot to the windshield. And it had a note. And in the note it says, "Tell Maya Lopez to meet him alone." Right? And this is Roland. This is Clint with the Roland costume. He put on the Roland costume this time. And I'll continue. I just have to say so. And I'm right back, alright? I'm back. I just had to do something. Okay. And obviously Clint was not coming home to his family for Christmas. Obviously. and Yelena, where Kate is staying, or where Clint is staying, is not safe because Yelena could knows where they live. But Yelena could track them down anywhere, right? She could track them down anywhere. So before we get to where they go to the guy from the LARP who had the Ronin costume, the original Ronin costume from LARP. He has a bigger role. I thought he was a small role, but he has actually kind of a bigger role in this show. But we'll get to that. So we get to the point where Clint as Ronin was going to be Maya Lopez, right? Before we get to that, we see that Maya Lopez in the Traction Mafia has kind of set up a trap for Ronin, because she didn't trust Ronin. Obviously, why not? Why not? Why would she trust Ronin? And we see that Kazi's there, right? Takes down Kazi with a sniper. He doesn't take down Kazi with a sniper. Kazi had a sniper. Takes down Kazi. Then he takes down the Traction Mafia. We're between different cars. Takes them down easily. Not with an arrow, but like using stealth, like, because he's kind of like a ninja, using stealth. And then he confronts Maya Lopez. They fight Maya Lopez. He gets upper hand. Maya Lopez is defeated, and Maya Lopez is like, "Are you gonna kill me?" He's like, "No." And he's like, "You killed my father." Like, and he said to Maya Lopez that somebody tipped him off, like an informant tipped him off about her father or something like that. An informant about her father. That's obviously within. Somebody tipped him off. Not an informant. An informant is by the police, but somebody tipped him off within the organization, right? And Maya Lopez is frustrated, angry with that, and Clint leaves, and Maya Lopez and at a different area, a different location, contacts Kazi, and Kazi shows up. And Maya Lopez starts being suspicious about her father's death. Like, what really happened? Did somebody set up his father? Somebody set up his father to be murdered. Her father. Oh. So he starts questioning Kazi. She says, "Why weren't you in the meeting?" And he was reluctant to answer, so he came with a BS answer. Like, right? And now she's suspicious of Kazi. Was Kazi the one that tipped off Maya Lopez? Not tipped off Clint Barron, Ronin. Then resulted in Maya Lopez's father being murdered or taken out, right? By Clint Barron, Ronin. Was it Kazi that one that tipped him off? Or was Kazi, might have been the one that tipped him off, but was he being ordered by somebody higher in the hierarchy? And I'll say who. I'm going to say who at the end. Higher in the hierarchy was told by this person higher who's in the hierarchy of the criminal underworld in New York, told him that would be the one to relay this message to Ronin about Maya Lopez's father. Now, we know Maya Lopez. If you don't know the comics and stuff, Maya Lopez does become a good guy. Echo. Maya Lopez is Echo. And she's getting her own show. She does become a good guy. Okay? She does become a good guy. And she does have a relationship with Daredevil. And, well, I'm going to say this. We know Daredevil, Matt Murdock, is in MCU. If you have not, spoiler alert, if you have not seen Spider-Man No Way Home, I suggest you see it because I'm not holding anything back. I did a non-spoiler review, and if you watch my streams, my past stream. It's a not spoiler review. I'm not saying, um, I'm not gonna warn you about spoilers because I'm done with that right for Spider-Man No Way Home. So I'm sorry if you're watching this and you haven't seen the movie. Don't blame me. I gave you a warning. If Matt Murdock is in the MCU and he's on Spider-Man No Way Home, so now Maya Lopez is in the MCU. It's all there's a coincidence there, right? And at the ending of this episode. All right. So she's suspicious. Maybe Kazi was ordered by somebody up top in the hierarchy. And when I saw episode 3, when Maya Lopez was choking Kate Bishop, remember when she was tied up along with Clint? She was choking Kate Bishop, and Kazi was nervous and freaking out because after she let go, he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And right, and potentially suspicious of Eleanor Bishop, and then Kate and Clint get united again. They team up again. They finally start figuring some stuff out. Obviously, Kate knows Clint is Ronin from episode 4. She knows it's Ronin. All right. And they go to they need a new place to stay because of Yelena tracking them. She probably could find them, but you know. Obviously, they can't stay at the hotel Clint's staying at. They can't stay at Kate Bishop's warehouse apartment. Can't stay at Kate Bishop's home where her mother lives. They can't stay there. So they go to that firefighter, I believe. He's not a cop, but he with the LARP stuff with the live action role play. Yeah, that's a bunch. That's with what's that? Cops, firefighters, anybody in that industry, like it's not law enforcement. Firefighters not law enforcement, but who work together, and they go and he uses a bit. They kind of use he has a bigger role in this show, bigger than I thought, which is okay with. I like him. He's a cool guy. And there's Lucky the pizza dog. They feed him. He's being fed pizza. Okay. I'm sorry. I was just reading something funny. My fault. My fault. And so yeah. And then, earlier, like some who employed Elena, you thought would beat up what's her name? Julia. the actress who played Lane Bennett, Julie Louis-Dreyfus, right? Yeah, and if you saw Black Widow, you think she's the one that hired her. So Lena managed to text anonymously to Kate Bishop's phone, so obviously has connections to her phone and location. So even in that guy's apartment, she can still track him, and tracks him. And there's a picture of who hired her, and it was more, and it was not. It was not her. It was not Elena Bennis. I call her Elena Bennis. I'm sorry. Or Veep from Veep. Remember she's from Veep from HBO. Was a great show. And now she reveals the person who hired her. And it's been revealed that this picture, we see a video, not a pic. Well, this picture from me, but it's a video of Eleanor Bishop, Kate's mother, but she's suspicious up to something. She's the one apparently hired Lena. Because she's the one. Remember after the episode 4, when after Clinton Byrne left, she went on the phone. Remember that, Eleanor. But that's not the focus here, guys. That's it will be. The focus here is the person on the left. Who is this guy? Who? Okay, I'm stop playing around here. But this guy. I think we've seen him before. Was it a Netflix show? What show was that? I'm thinking right here. You don't see me when I'm tapping my forehead. What show is that? Oh, that's right, Daredevil. That's Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. We got full confirmation that the Kingpin is in the MCU now. Remember episode 3, we probably got hints of Kingpin being in it, right? Hints. With Maya's backstory, with Maya Lopez's backstory, Echo's backstory. But now, with this picture, it fully 100% confirms the Kingpin is in the MCU. Vincent D'Onofrio, who was a great actor, played the villain Men in Black, was in Jurassic World. Of course, a detective on Law and Order, Criminal Intent. Tremendous versatile actor, good actor, and a lot of roles he's played. He plays a villain, and he's a tense. The role as a villain, his villain is more his roles as a villain. He's a tense villain. Yeah, but we got him in the MCU. It's confirmed. Kingpin is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I love that line. Hawkeye said Kingpin. Hawkeye knows the Kingpin. He says, I don't know that. He doesn't say, I don't know who that is. He says Kingpin. So Hawkeye knows who the Kingpin is. Hawkeye knows who the freaking Kingpin is, guys. Wow. Oh, this video. Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, it's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And now, as I was saying on my friend's Ambassador stream last night, We were talking, and I think it was just, yeah, it was four of us because some of the people on the panel left because they haven't seen it, or one of them doesn't like Hawkeye and so doesn't want to talk about it. It's okay. I mean, it's okay if you don't like it or not. It's up to you. It's subjective. And if you haven't seen it, I understand. You don't want to be spoiled, and you should go see it. But it was four of us left: George, Master, me, and a good mutual friend, Ferris. We're talking about what this means, and we're talking about how usually in MCU, you usually got world threat villains, right? We got like terrorists, aliens, AI, stuff like that. World threatening villains, not just in Avengers, but other things. We haven't really got. Marvel has street villains. I mean, Spider-Man has street villains. You could say Vulture and Mysterio in some sense are street villains. But we haven't really got street level villains. And what I mean by street level villains, I just don't mean like regular villains like Shocker, Rhino, stuff like that. Well, I do mean like that. I mean they are street level villains, but I'm talking more in the sense of gang related, organized crime. Now, organized crime in MCU is not prominent like it is in the Batman. Batman's full of organized crime, obviously, right? The Falcones, the Maroonis, and etc. There's more. But there is organized crime in MCU, especially in New York City. It's more towards New York City. We got like Kingpin, head of organized crime. What do you think the definition of Kingpin is? One is organized crime. Perhaps, right? The Hand, I don't know. There's a lot more. But this is the first true introduction. And we know there's organized crime in MCU because Ronan was taking him out. But they haven't been a focus. The only time they've been a focus is when Ronan, which has been taking him out in Endgame. That's the only time. But now they're getting more of a focus into organized crime in New York City, where we can see Kate Bishop taking down organized crime, Spider-Man at some point, and whoever is in the Daredevil. Oh yeah, well, Daredevil's in MCU, obviously. Daredevil and whoever's else they're gonna introduce to organized crime, taking down organized crime. So we're getting more organized street level crime, which is good. And organized crime could always hire like contact killers, assassins, they take down the heroes who've been trying to stop them or stuff. They can always do that. I mean, like that's what we see in this show. I'm sorry, I was just reading something. And I'm sorry if I stop talking. It's because I was reading something on Twitter, okay? Or whatever. Or on my phone something just pops up that gets my interest. Okay. But yeah, we're Kingpin now. Oh, now this is getting me hyped. Season finale of Hawkeye. Kingpin. I wonder what play he has. I wonder what will he have in the season finale. Will he have more than? Will he have a lot of screen time? Obviously they're not. Obviously they're not gonna stop him. They're gonna stop the lower tier villains in this show because Kingpin needs to be more of a villain, a focused villain in MCU for New York City. If you have Daredevil now. Look, I'm gonna call you out on this, people. If you don't think Hawkeye episode 5 and Spider-Man No Way Home, the reveal of Daredevil was purposely scheduled to come out the same week, then you're a liar. That was no coincidence, guys. They came up the same. That was done on purpose. Marvel and Sony did that on purpose. Disney and Sony did it on purpose. They wanted two Daredevil characters to be revealed in the same week. That was done on purpose. 100% done on purpose. to get the hype for Kingpin and Daredevil. I'm sorry. Okay? It was done on purpose. And now, evidence is clearer and clearer more, right? Echo's having her own show. Daredevil and Kingpin MCU. What's next? What's next? What's next? By episode 5. Kingpin. Now, the question is, what's Eleanor Bishop's, let's she kill her husband? Just to take over Bishop's security. So Bishop's security can be part of under control of Kingpin. And Kingpin wants Bishop's security and the Traction Mafia, because we know some of the Traction Mafia employees, like Kazi, end of episode 3, was revealed to be an employee of Bishop's security. So, is it possible that Kate Bishop's mother murdered her father? Is her father still alive? I don't know. Well, is her mother a villain, or was there something else in play? Is she doing this to protect her daughter from Ronan or Clint because she doesn't trust Clint, or something like that? I don't know. I can't really say. I gotta watch the season finale, episode 6. I was just reading something. It's pretty funny. Yes, so episode 5. Great episode. Leading to episode 6, the season finale. It's going to be interesting, guys. Wednesday. About an hour long episode. Because you know what? You got to make the finale a long one. And a good episode. And we'll see where it leads. Will Clint finally accept Kate Bishop as a Hawkeye? Will Clint retire after this? Will Kingpin have a huge role? What is the deal with Eleanor Bishop? What is the deal with her? Will Elena Clint fight? Will he try to reason with her? Will Jack Duquesne, was his arrest just a ruse? Or is there something up? Because I don't feel it's a genuine arrest. Something's up with that. Something doesn't smell. And something's fishy with that arrest. Will Maya Lopez figure out who was the one that set her father up? Is it Kazi? Or was Kazi being told by some higher up, particularly Kingpin, to rat out Maya Lopez's father to Ronan Clint? We'll see episode 6, season finale, 2 days from now. And yeah, that's so like I said, half an hour to 40 minutes. It's a phenomenal episode. I just want to show you this clip again.
Kate Bishop. Hi. I made macaroni if you want some.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, I was starving and you took forever, so I wanted to make food.
I like that. I don't know, macaroni. It's pretty funny. Elena's pretty funny, man. I like her sense of humor. Something Black Widow doesn't have. I like her sense of humor. Yeah, so I have stuff in the works. I haven't set up anything. I do got a video on a wrestling video. I pushed back about a week. I don't know why. but it still has up. Coach, I haven't uploaded it. It's a stream. It's Wrestler Spotlight episode 5. Bailey. If you're into wrestling, go watch it. Go watch it when I go live. I have to set up streams. I don't know. Maybe Wednesday and Thursday. I don't know. I can think of talk about The Witcher season 2. Talk about that. I'll go through Witcher season 2. I really like that. I suggest you, if you haven't seen Witcher, I suggest you watch season 1. It may be confusing at first because there's a lot of time jumps, but once you get to season 2, it all makes sense, and there's no time jumps in season 2. But it's a very good show. Season 2 really upped the ante. It was season 2 really was so damn good. I suggest you've seen. If you've seen season 1, definitely watch season 2 of The Witcher. It's so good. Henry Cavill as Geralt. Oh my god. And I gotta give the rest of the props to the rest of the cast. This is one of my favorite fantasy. I mean, I love the games, right? But it's one of my favorite fantasy genres out there on live action. Like we say how the thing is about all video game movies into video games into adaptations of movies and TV shows, and most of the time fail, which is true. They fail. Witcher is not failing. Witcher is actually pretty one that was one of, to me, The Witcher is one of the ones that's actually working. It's actually a success. It can be done. Video games can be done. But I'll say this: The Witcher but I know you're gonna say, but these are based on the books. You're right. The Witcher seasons are based on the books. But eventually, the books do end. But in the books, the first game, second game, third game picks up after the books. So there's a chance they might, in the later seasons, involve the game story because they have to because based on series Destiny that ends in that happens in Witcher in the video game. So they kind of have to go. They have to continue from the end of the books and involve the video game stuff into the series. Eventually, it's going to happen. And they're not going to take everything from the book because how many seasons are allowed. So they're going to have to like cut some stuff out and just put the important aspects and important stories into the show. But I'll get into detail more about that, I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday about the Witcher season 2. But yeah. So that's I'm gonna end it. So I don't know if that's gonna be Wednesday or Thursday. I'm gonna plan making it like very soon, like perhaps later tonight. Plan a thumbnail and stuff, and I'll come up with a day to talk Witcher season 2. I didn't do a season 1, but I'm gonna do season 2. If you're into that stuff, come join me. I really do like the show. I really like the show. It's amazing how dark it's become. It's always been Witcher's always been a dark universe or whatever universe. But yeah, so this is how I think about you guys.
Too sweet! Sweet! Too sweet! Too sweet!
Oh, I forget. So yeah, I'm gonna do the Witcher stuff, the wrestling stuff, more wrestling stuff. I'm gonna try to get back more wrestling stuff, and I'm definitely gonna do more, continue to Marvel, DC stuff, and video game stuff. I might do look out for streams and uploads. All right? Okay. Yeah. So that's what I think about you guys. Too sweet. So like, share, subscribe down below, and with that, AWO, hit that notification bell too. With that, the AWO, the Aaron Water is out. Thank you guys.